from xiQ, not Zeke. And how many people here are in sales? Okay, you can admit it, it's a safe place. Sales and marketing, you have to call on clients, right? One of the things that you need to do is you need to prepare. If you're doing targeted selling, you need to prepare. 84% of prospects say that their number one complaint is that salespeople show up unprepared. 84%. So what we're doing is we are solving that problem. And I'll just advance my slide here. What we're doing is we're helping you sell smarter and faster. And we're doing that in two ways. One is with the mobile application, which I am going to demonstrate to you shortly, and also with a marketing workbench for curated news digest using artificial intelligence. We actually use IBM Watson to curate this information. So without further ado, I'm going to swap over to my mobile app. I think I am. Come on, there we go. All right, so this is my phone. We're doing live demo stuff here. I'm a salesperson in the field. What do I need to know? Well, I need to know some specific information around topics. So we have these three sections. The first is a curated digest here around, in this case, B2B marketing, but it could be anything, any target interest. We also have my target executives. If I'm selling into a target account, I typically have executives that are important to me. We pre-curated thousands of executives into here, and we've got those already in the application, but the ones I'm going to see are going to be specific to me and what I'm concerned about, right? We also have the companies that I'm concerned about. So here's Apple and IBM and Goldman Sachs and Oracle. So I've got, but again, those are the ones that are specific to me. So it knows who I am and what companies and what executives I'm chasing, and serves that up to me specifically on my mobile app. So I'm just gonna, if you look at the tabs down the bottom, I'm gonna click on companies, and you see it's got all the companies that I am chasing, plus others I can add. But, oh, I clicked on the wrong tab. Companies, and you see it's got Accenture, Adobe, Apple, etc. I'm gonna click through on Accenture. And what it's got for me is it's curated down all the news and all the social around Accenture. So any news about or by Accenture, any social about or by Accenture. And you can see here that the AI has filtered it by category, right? So I have different categories of news, and I can say, well, I don't care about all that stuff. I'm a salesperson, I care about mergers and acquisitions. I'm going to filter by that, and it's going to serve up just those articles within the mergers and acquisitions. I see one of those I like. I'm going to click down through that. Without having to leave the app, it's serving up that article from Accenture's website right to me here. I love that. I want to share it with somebody. I hit the share button. I can share it internally with my other team members. I can tweet it. I can email it to somebody, all without having to leave the app. Right here in my hand, I'm on the way to the airport. It fits the salesperson's lifestyle, work style. All right. So I'm going to back out of that. Also within Accenture, I've got their executives. So I've got all the target executives. Again, this is all pre-curated for you. So these are the guys that I'm trying to get meetings with, or I'm trying to influence, or I'm trying to build my brand with. Guys and ladies. And I'm going to drill down into my friend Paul here. You see I've got Paul's Twitter address, so I can know what Paul is talking about, so what his mind is, what he's thinking, right? If I'm selling to him, very important, so I can be aligned. And any news about Paul or by Paul and his profile. So all that preparation that you need to know, plus the social listening, it's all real time, it's all piped right into this app, specifically for me and the target companies I'm chasing. All right, so going back to the main screen, the other thing, you might be chasing specific industries. So in this case, I've got a bunch of industries that are automatically curated down to me. So let's say I care about consumer goods. I can click into that. And you see again, it's curated all the information about, in this case, consumer goods and retail, so Mondelez, Unilever, those kind of articles. I can drill down into those, I can share them, and good. So that's the mobile app. I'm going to switch back over now, sorry about that, to here. And the second piece of this is we are, by the way, you can also have the app on the web. That's the web interface. So what the AI engine is doing here is it's filtering this giant cloud in the internet and bringing it down specifically based on key search terms to a smaller pile of things that are interesting, these news articles here. And what ends up happening is we package these up, we curate those and package them up into a digest. Come on. All right, maybe we don't. Oh, there we go. So we curate those, and you see this is from Jerry's desk. It's specific about Jerry. He's selling into the cloud space. You've got these articles in here that are specific to that target audience. And they're so specific, the why do you care is that since you're serving this up to your list, you get these kind of engagement rates that you see up here, 32%, because they care about what you're sending. It's very specific to what they care about, and you get these high engagement rates. And of course, then you can see what is being read by who's opening what. Quick story, episodically, a couple weeks ago we had that big virus go around, the WannaCry virus, and these, one of these data center companies sent out an opportunistic digest around that to their target CIOs, and they got people that they had never been able to get meetings with before, and they could see what they were opening and what they were thinking about. Created a warm lead, if you will, depending on how you define lead. And that feeds back into the sales side through the mobile app. Thank you very much. Do we have time for questions? You guys, yeah? This gentleman here with his hand up. Go ahead.
Been called a gentleman in quite a while, so thank you. You know, it appears that you've got a technology that's going to allow us to hit the largest global and domestic companies, but most of the time that's not what we're chasing. You have an application for chasing companies, called xiQ or whatever.
Yeah, so great question. Very common question, by the way. The answer is yeah, it's really easy to find information around Fortune 50, Fortune 500 companies. You typically down to Fortune 2000 type size companies. You get into private companies, there's just not a lot of information on them, and it may not be applicable. The other related question we always get is, you're showing the president of IBM. I'm not going to call on him, but you need to know what he's thinking, because you need to align with what the executives are thinking, right? And if you have specific feeds, we can curate those feeds specifically into your app, right? So if you know where to find that information, we can get it. Sir?
Just a couple of points. I'm not sure if you've considered or not. I wonder if you've ever looked at like auto text summarization, so generating like cliff notes of the articles. And second, if you tried modeling how people are responding to their emails, so to see what sales tactic is most effective with your lead or not.
Yeah, no, have not tried either of those things.
Maybe that's the future.
But we are building out a dossier extension onto it for specific individuals. So you give us a name and we'll give you that dossier as an add-on product. All right. Somebody over here had a question.
How do you differentiate yourself from LinkedIn Sales Navigator?
Yeah, so first of all, it's a lot easier. You saw the mobile app. The field people love it, and that's one of the big barriers here when you see these two loops between sales and marketing. Sales and marketing don't always get along. I'm sure in your companies they do very well, but marketing tries to give stuff to the salespeople and they don't use it. In this case, the salespeople love it, so it creates this sort of nice loop where they work together. So, yeah, I mean, Navigator is typically more about people. This is more about topics and companies, and then the people within that context. Yeah. Do I have to give up, or somebody say when? Go ahead.
There are companies, I'm a marketer myself, and there are companies out there like Meltwater News and Sysmos that that aggregate coverage out there, whether it's social or publicized content. Have you considered also selling to marketers?
Oh, absolutely.
To compete with companies like that?
Yeah, we not necessarily compete. They're more content based, right? So if you had licenses to that content, you could feed that content into our UI.
Got it.
Sorry.
Quick question out of curiosity. What you may have already answered, but what does xiQ stand for?
Extra IQ, extra intelligence.
Oh, okay, right, okay.
Yeah. So Yeah.
So a lot of the Salesforce, I'm sure, talks on themselves. So you integrate with Salesforce.com and then there are other sort of chat systems.
Yeah, yeah. So into Salesforce, you're going to have xiQ tabs in Salesforce with our feeds in there that you can see, right? And then also you saw the Salesforce chatter. I mean, I had to go through it very quickly, but we're all from Boston. We can follow fast talking. Salesforce chatter is one of the ways you can share any of the content from the mobile app, so you can share it internally. Yeah. Done.
Thanks.